All right, yo, fans, we're back here with Garrett Rehberg, another kind of player spotlight. We're looking to do that every week with more and more key guys on the team, and no one more key than this guy right here as far as starting left tackle for the C of I offense. You've been a starter here for a number of years, so this guy is obviously a key cog in the run game and the pass game and everything that this team does. And so, Garrett, jumping right into the Carroll game, but also just as an offense as a whole, running the ball is such a big part of this program. And it's a staple of the C of I offense. And obviously, you guys have really gotten it going in the run game this season again. So what's working for you guys up front that's allowing you to have so much success in the run game?
Yeah, I think to start, just being big and being physical. And also the coaching that we've been able to have this year. Having Mike Moroski come in and Coach Stu coming into his third year in the program has been huge. And then also with Taylor Bateman and off the field, getting us right in the weight room in the offseason.
I love that, absolutely. And, jumping into Montana Tech a little bit, what is their defense do? Obviously, Montana Tech 4-1 in the league, nipping at your guys' heels. Really strong program, always have been. So what does their defense bring to the table, and how do you guys keep it going, especially in the run game against them?
Yeah, it's going to be another great game. I mean, they do a lot of stuff defensively, primarily an even front team. They'll mix it up on third down, bring different packages, and then they have a great group of personnel. Some returning guys, some younger guys coming in, but just, we're going to stick to who we are, stick to running the ball, airing it out when we need to. Let Gilbert and Alomar cook and just keep doing our thing.
I love it. And just, maybe for the fans that don't know, can you speak a little bit to what an even front looks like and how maybe you try to attack that?
Yeah, so an even front is 4 down linemen, so 2 defensive tackles over the guards and 2 defensive ends. And they'll either play a 2 or 3 backer box. And even versus Carroll, we started to see 9-player boxes. With 11 players on the field on offense, sometimes it's tough to match that. But I think we're going to have a good game plan going in it, and we'll be all right.
Awesome. And then kind of lastly, speaking of the Carroll game specifically, obviously, program lost them a couple times last year. Carroll's always a big game, but, what did it mean for you guys as a team to go up there, bad conditions, sloppy field, and be able to avenge a couple losses against those guys?
Yeah, I think that's just the way we wanted it. After losing 3, losing in 2020 during COVID, and then the 2 last year, and they knocked us out of the playoffs, or at least chances to make the playoffs. It was big for us. We had a great week of prep, and I think that we did what we needed to do, but it meant a lot, But there's plenty of big games in the month of October and November coming up.
I love it. Awesome. Well, yo, fans, be sure to come out to the homecoming game against Montana Tech. You can watch this guy at left tackle keep beating people up. But, Garrett, we appreciate you, man, and thank you.
Sir.
All right. All right, yo, fans, back with another player spotlight. This time a special one. Ryan Hibbs, quarterback out of Capitol High, been here at C of I for a few years, and obviously was able to step in this week in the place of Andy Peters and go get a huge win on the road for the program against a really good Carroll team. So, Hibbs jumping right into it. Phenomenal job stepping up, and that's obviously not easy to be ready when your number's called. So great job there. And what did it mean for you to be able to answer that call and then also avenge a couple losses against Carroll from the last couple years?
For sure. It feels really good to just been able to go in and mostly beat Carroll. That's really the only thing that I was worried about there. I'm always ready. My teammates know I'm always ready, and I hope that there really shouldn't be any drop-off there. We're still out ready to run the ball. We can still throw the ball, and I think our offense played great. Defense had like a historic day, negative total rushing yards. So just being able to go out and actually play a complete game against Carroll, where we've kind of struggled as a team and myself to not turn the ball over as much, and just especially with the conditions, and play really well and beat a ranked opponent was really exciting and felt really good.
Awesome. No, that's absolutely. And so, speaking on protecting the ball, obviously, for any Yotes fans that tuned in, you guys saw it was a mess. I remember watching the game, not only live, but then going back and seeing the film, and every play, you got O-lineman, D-lineman kicking water up all over the place. It's one thing to play in the rain. It's another to be in basically a swamp-like field, right? And so how were you guys able to protect the ball? And was that a huge emphasis, before the game, kind of talking about that with the guys?
Definitely a bit of an emphasis, talking with some of the guys who are going to be touching it a lot. So the running backs, the receivers, but I need to shout out Dawson Packwood. I don't think there was one snap that was low, but other than that, with snapping it literally out of a puddle, the snaps were great. And then also just the other guys who were running the ball, holding on to it, having good ball security, and we didn't put the ball on the ground, which helped a lot.
Absolutely. No, that's phenomenal. I love that you shot out Dawson Packwood. It's something that a lot of fans, don't really think about is how important. Obviously, just always the center quarterback exchange is, but how much more important it gets in those conditions, because when you get a bad ball, it's obviously harder to catch. It's harder to catch when it's right there, let alone if it's a bad ball, right? So that's awesome. So, offense has continued to take steps. You guys have been productive. But where do you want to see from the quarterback room and everything, and the offense as a whole? Where do you think you guys can improve here going into the second half of the season?
I really love the way that we've been running the ball. I would like to see a little bit more success, maybe with some of the RPOs stuff that we've been working on, and I think it's really going to start to pay benefits as we move forward. Absolutely. Because of how well we've been running the ball. Teams are going to have to stack the box against us and have to bring in safety fitters and extra fitters, and when they do, we've got speed guys who can take the top off of you, and so hopefully start hitting some of those. We hit a play action shot in the game against Carroll, and I think that's all set up by the run game, and so I think that's being able to really run the ball and throw the ball effectively and be really balanced is going to be really good for us moving forward.
Phenomenal. Amazing. And so, I want to give you a chance, obviously, kind of like what I started out talking about is, you've had different opportunities since you've been here and had to battle different quarterbacks, maybe transferring in, but have gotten opportunities to play and played well in a lot of those opportunities. And so, how have you been able to, withstand everything, stay mentally tough, continue to prepare like a starter, especially in an age, man, where, quarterbacks may transfer, or any players may just transfer if they're not getting an opportunity right now. I mean, can you just speak to your ability to stay with it, stay mentally tough, and continue to respond to adversity?
For sure. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's really just came down to, obviously it was never the best situation for me, but I stayed because I really enjoy my teammates, and that's what's really kept me here forever. I'm really close with a lot of guys on the team, both offense and defense, and there was never really a thought about leaving because I couldn't imagine leaving everybody here on the team. And obviously football is the ultimate team sport in my mind, and nobody really, obviously it's important who your quarterback is, but we're going to go out and the Yotes are going to go win football games, and that's what matters to me. And obviously I'd like to help us do that, and I'm glad that I was able to prove to my teammates and to everybody that I'm still capable of doing that. And so I'm just excited, and I'll always be ready whenever my number's called, and that's really all you can do.
Awesome, man. No, we're all the fans and the alumni are obviously super proud of you stepping in like that. So just like Garrett, Yotes fans, get out for the homecoming game. Come cheer this guy on and the entire Yotes offense as we continue to improve and look to get a big win against Montana Tech. But I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
All right, Yote fans, back with another player spotlight. This time, Keagan McCoy, another local guy. We've had 3 local Boise guys this week, which is awesome to see. And Keagan's coming off. He was awarded National Defensive Player of the Week this week, which is so awesome. And obviously the Yote fan base and alumni are proud as heck of you for that, man. So, getting right into the game and this season, this year the D-line has a lot of depth. You guys really go too deep and can rotate a number of different guys through. So, how has that helped you and the entire D-line just perform this year?
I think having all that depth, it allows us to just get more rest. And so we're always rolling fresh guys in the game, and that just helps keep our performance, as good as it can be.
Awesome, absolutely, and obviously at D-line, you guys are battling the O-lineman all game, so that's so important, right? And so, speaking on your coaches, because obviously the coaches have been able to bring a lot out of you guys, and there's a couple former players helping you guys on the D-line with Landon Gamble and Carlos Marana. So how have those guys helped you specifically improve your game, especially Landon, over the last couple of years?
They've helped a lot. Landon especially was a teammate and a friend before coach.
Absolutely.
So it's really easy to just talk to all the time. Just give us some help on what works, what doesn't work.
Of course.
Ideas on what to do, maybe what worked for him back in the day, and so we can apply it.
Yeah.
And overall, it's nice to have somebody who's been through the system and played in the scheme help us learn it.
Absolutely. And so, I've asked the last couple guys this. Obviously we've taken a few losses to Carroll the last couple years. So, and you've been a part of the team for a long time now. So what did it mean for you to be able to avenge a few of those losses, go up on the road and get a win against Carroll?
It was huge. Losing the last couple to them, it sucked. And really coming back this year and being able to take it to their house and beat them on the road, that was awesome.
Awesome. And lastly, looking ahead this week, huge homecoming game against Montana Tech. They're number 2 in the league, nipping right at your guys' heels. And so, What do they bring, whether, this year or your past experience playing Montana Tech? What do you expect coming from Montana Tech down here at Simplot Stadium?
I expect it to be a good game. It's all the past years we've played them, it's always been a close game, coming down to overtime or last-minute plays and whatnot. So I expect them to be a tough team and it to be a good game.
Awesome. Well, just like the other guys, come out and see number 55 tear up the field. These guys need your support. We want to pack the house for the homecoming game. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks, Keagan. All right, fans, thanks for tuning in to another week of the Steel Show here. Shout out to Danny Campbell for filling in for me last week, but excited to be back here with Coach Mo. Obviously coming off of a huge win at Carroll, rainy, sloppy conditions. So, Coach, just getting right into that, how proud of the team are you to be able to, deal with those kind of conditions on the road and then be able to avenge a couple losses to a team that's had your number a little bit the last couple of years?
Yeah. First of all, I think that it was a very, very difficult conditions. I knew we were very ready to play against them, but wouldn't have thought it would be that difficult to throw the ball. So it was just amazing, really. It was an amazing team win, maybe as good a team win as we've ever had since we've been here. You've heard me say that a number of times, but I was just so proud of every phase of the game, offense, doing what just enough, running for almost 200 yards in those conditions when they knew we were running. The defense coming up, amazing, dominating performance, really. They hit a couple big passes again, but it was just really, really satisfying. And then special teams. We handled the ball, a great game. The snapping, the punter had a great game, and then we made a key field goal. That's one of those type field goals in close games that you just got to make. But tight angle, tough conditions.
Able to convert all your PATs.
And Spencer Fisk made every one. Charlie Maines did a great job holding. And so it was all those little things. You never know what's going to turn a game like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, clearly the big pass from Hibbs to Broch Richardson was a big turning point. There was an early point in the game where we had 4th and 1 before our first touchdown, where we kind of had this scrum, but it was like 7 of our guys against 5 of their guys pushing the pile 5 yards. And it was such a motivator, I think, for offense, defense. Then we started making plays on defense too. Great fits in the run game and knocking down passes and then finally started hitting the quarterback a lot too. So all those things kind of work together. But again, our response as a team, the enthusiasm, the belief is fun to be a part of.
Yeah.
As you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, we started getting on a roll when you were finished playing, and I think we're kind of getting there with this group of people too, that young men are just love to play and they understand what the coaches are trying to do. And so very, very, can't say it enough. It was so satisfying. I told the team after the game, I got a personal foul, by the way. Let's not talk about that. But,
okay.
But it was the team just rallied. It was just fantastic, and that feeling, being part of a team, is what makes football one of the great games on the face of the earth. And that was a great afternoon for the Yotes.
Absolutely. So obviously a little bit of change this week. Peters is getting back healthy, and Ryan Hibbs has to step in and step up, answer the call. Never easy to do at quarterback. So kind of assess his performance and how proud you were of him to just be able to step in there, operate, and help the team get a win.
Well, it's never easy to be the backup quarterback. So the one advantage that we had was Andy was under the weather all week, and we had a feeling that it might go like this. So at least Ryan was able to get all the snaps in practice. So I thought it was a great week of practice for him. Then you show up and you can barely hold the ball. So it had to be a little frustrating for him too. But he's just a great young man and a great quarterback. And I told him when we made the decision, which wasn't easy for him, I said, Ryan, you're going to win. You've won us games already, and you're going to win us some more games. So I couldn't be more proud of him and what he did, how he handled himself. The ball slipped out of his hand one time, but he probably saved us 5 or 6 other times with just the ball handling sort of thing. So there's that. He hit the big pass to Broch, which was
a huge point of the game.
Huge. And one of the best throws I've ever seen in my life. It was perfect. And Broch is dynamic, obviously, but Ryan, again, he's in there, and he could have easily gotten frustrated with, gosh, can't throw the ball, but he's a football player and a team guy, and he did what it took to run the show.
Yeah.
And so very, very happy for him. Glad we got him. I'm glad he's on our team.
Yeah, and you know, not every team in the country can probably say that they can go to their backup quarterback and feel good about things and feel like you pretty much can beat everyone and run your offense normally. So how much of an advantage is that?
Absolutely, it is a great advantage. And again, it's not easy to come in those situations and the emotions that he's probably had to go through. But he's able to put those aside and put the team first, put his, that moment as the preeminent moment of his life. I get to play quarterback, and there's not many people that can say that to run the show from under center, and so it was great. I thought he was fantastic.
Awesome.
I knew we were going to have to make a play or two in the pass game, and he threw some up there, which were great, and we had chances to get him. We just didn't come down with them, and then we finally did. But the game was won and lost in the trenches, no doubt about that. But Ryan ran the ball well. He's knows the offense better than anybody in the whole system. So that was fantastic.
Awesome, and of course I would be, remiss to not mention, the defensive performance, front seven specifically, against the Carroll rushing attack. I think it was not negative 15 yards rushing or whatever, which is incredible. So, and we haven't really talked about Dylan Martinez. So, what has he done for you this season? Maybe this game specifically, obviously as a key cog in the middle, and then that pass rush that was really able to get going in some certain third down spots.
I think for all the guys, you mentioned that Carroll's beaten us 3 times in a row, and the truth is, we tried to step away from that monkey on the back, or they got your number, and the bottom line is, Brock, we didn't play well enough to win. Carroll's a good team. If you don't play well, they're going to beat you, especially at their place. So our whole emphasis was, we're going to go in there and we're going to be physical, and we're going to play our game, and if we outplay them, watch out. Watch out. And Dylan Martinez has had some of the greatest games in the history of the Yotes, and I think this was one of them for him. But even a guy like him, as experienced as he is, he has to be on his game. And I think he was bound and determined to fit every run exactly right. And he was they couldn't block him, and they couldn't get past him. And I don't think they broke one tackle. And it was incredible.
Absolutely.
Up front is where it all starts, and we're playing 8 or 9 guys up there, and then got this young guy, Jordan McKean, who we put in there, and they couldn't block him by themselves, so they had to double Jordan. Now all of a sudden, Keagan McCoy is man-to-man on an offensive guard. So, Kobe Roberts is a load at defensive end, we really did some nice things. Willie Nelson just on green dogs, got it, which means he's guarding the running back. When the running back blocks, now he can go, and the coverage was so good. It was great. Hunter Eborn, he's a guy that people need to keep an eye on. He's playing great defense. He's our first graduate transfer from Idaho State, from Pocatello, actually, Highland High School. So he had a couple sacks as well. So all those guys together. Dylan Martinez is the guy, though. He's got to make 15, 20 tackles a game, and he's quite capable of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, like I said, great performance by you guys. The alumni and the fans are so proud of you guys going up there and getting a hard-fought, tough conditions road win against a ranked opponent, which is always awesome. And so moving on to this week, huge homecoming game here at Simplot Stadium against Montana Tech. Like I told the guys that interviewed before today, they're nipping at your heels at 4-1, coming in with some confidence off of a blowout win against Northern. And so tell us a little bit about Montana Tech, what challenges they present, what you can expect from them this Saturday.
Yeah, more than the Northern game. I mean, I feel bad for Northern. I hope they hang in there and start playing a little bit better. But that's not really the telltale. The truth is Tech's beaten Carroll, and they beat them pretty good. And they beat Western, and they beat them pretty good. And they're always like the tallest and the longest and the fastest group, and they're very, very well coached, and we have a great amount of respect for them. We're going to need to be on our game against Tech, and the conference is just like that, week in and week out. And we're happy to be in this situation where we've had we got to get prepared, and I access that Vince Lombardi quote, it's not just wanting to win. You have to have the will to prepare to win. Everybody loves to win. We celebrated like no other after the Carroll game, and we want to this Saturday. But the real magic is in the hard work and the preparation, and that's where this team is beginning to emerge as a really, really good preparation team.
Absolutely.
And so that's pleasing, and that goes to practice, the scout team, and all that. Tech's tough though. They're going to have a quarterback that can run and throw. They got some big receivers who can really, really fly, and they try to throw deep. They load up and try to max protect, and they want to run the ball.
Go deep on you.
Yeah. So they're very, very good in defense. They absolutely fly around. So they are as fast as any defense we played. So it's going to be quite a game. So I think it's going to be a great game for a sellout, I think. So it really is one of those great days for college football, I think, in Caldwell, Idaho.
Yeah, so what are going to be the 1 or 2 keys to the game for you guys to get a win against a tough team this week?
We have to keep them from making big plays.
Yeah.
So, then on defense, we have to keep them from controlling the ball, which they like to do. And then we have to find a way to move the ball in every way, meaning we have to get some chunk plays, 15, 20 yards or more. That's really important for us, just for our mindset.
Yeah.
And then we need to be able to grind it out too with the short pass game, medium pass game, and then running the ball too. So far so good. And I should say too that back to the preparation issue, the coaches are doing a great job. So Brian Taylor and Greg Stewart and Leon Ledoux and Matt Lawson on the offense, Chris Jewell on the defense, but then he's got Landon Gamble is really becoming a really, really a fine coach. And really helps in all the so many different ways. And Tristan Alisi helping in the defensive backfield. Austin Nelson's doing a great job at linebacker too. So very, very pleased with the staff.
Yeah.
And I believe in empowering those guys and letting them have skin in the game. And so they need to come up with good plans.
Yeah.
So that's what we talk about a lot on Sundays and Mondays. And we feel like it's emerging as a good plan. And now it's a matter of getting the guys ready to execute at a high level on Saturday, which means good practices, good meetings, and every moment matters.
Absolutely.
For championship-style games, which this is one. So
Absolutely.
Tech really demands our very best, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, fans, get out to the game. I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest games in the country in all of NAIA football this coming weekend, a homecoming matchup against 2 top 20 teams. C of I has played some of the best football of any college in the state over the last few years in Idaho. So if you want to come out, watch some great football, bring your friends. We're so excited to host Montana Tech for homecoming and have a raucous atmosphere, and can't wait to get after them on Saturday. So thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Brock.
Appreciate it.
Go Yotes.